So yesterday evening, just as I was uploading the vlog, the doctor came back, the intern, the very young intern, um, and she said that there was nothing to suggest a infection on the blood test, and they were quite happy with that, and prescribed some ibuprofen and paracetamol. Ibuprofen for 4 days. He has just stopped taking ibuprofen, and I wonder whether that had kept the inflammation at bay, and then over a couple of days that had come back. So he has been told to rest more. So I have suggested that he spends more time in the chair with his leg up, and actually he's in his study at the moment, but he's with his leg up, been icing it more, and so yeah, I mean, and he feels better today. It's not as stiff today. He had a good long sleep, slept well overnight. I didn't think he had done, but he did. So all is well with him, but not with me. I had an accident this morning, and I had decided that I would go and bring wood in, and so I emptied the few logs out of the trolley that was here, emptied them quietly because he was still asleep. It was about, I don't know, 9:30, 10:15. Took the trolley out through his door, which we haven't used for years because it's been on pan, it's been out of order, but it's been recently sorted so you can use it, and actually it's a good flat way to go out with the trolley. So I went out of his door with the trolley, took it out, came back to the door to close it to keep the heat in, and went flying, absolutely flying over the stops that come up to hold the shutters closed when you close the shutters. Flew across his floor, saw the desk coming towards me, and landed face down. Well, I know, you know me, I'm never going to get face down, but absolutely winded myself. Horrible. Scraped my elbow really badly. It's very bruised. This under the dressing is very bloody, and you can see the bruise, but it's going to get worse. But I haven't broken anything. I hurt this shoulder, and it felt like I'd hurt this shoulder, but actually at the moment I don't feel how I felt this morning. I was in shock this morning. I was carrying scissors. It could have been so much worse. As I went, I saw the scissors fly ahead of me, and I'm thinking, thank fuck for that, because it could, honestly, I was carrying the scissors because I was going to be breaking into a new log pile, and it's got all that horrible netting on it, and it's got two of those plastic tie things, those big strip things that you need to cut through. So that's why I was carrying scissors. But horrible, and just sort of couldn't breathe, because when you wind yourself, you're just like nothing, you can't move anything. So I rolled really quickly onto my side, which helped a lot, and then laid there for a bit until I could get myself up. You know, I've just been talking to my therapist. I had a therapy session at 4. I've just been talking to her, and she said it's just not what we do, is it, as adults? You mean to stay upright, and not staying upright is not good. So that was really unpleasant. I really was quite rocky this morning. I needed a cuddle. I went upstairs to see if there was any chance he was beginning to, and he wasn't beginning to wake up. He looked really peaceful, so I crept back out again, although it disturbed him. So eventually came down, and I had a cuddle, and he's put a dressing on for me. This is the second one because it's more comfortable. And I'd planned dinner, which is good. So I'd already got a plan and was all sort of halfway through the some of the prep, so it wasn't much for me to do the dinner. I didn't have to think about it because I'd already thought about it, which is a good thing. So we had a really nice, we had lamb yesterday, lamb shoulder, So I did like a Moroccan inspired lamb in rice with some onions and garlic and cumin and red pepper, and I think that's probably it. Oh, some green beans, the rest of the green beans from yesterday. So we had that, and then I had a really long siesta, which I obviously needed. I just went off into a really long sleep. It was about an hour and 20 minutes, and I struggled to wake myself up. And the only reason I needed to wake up was because I needed the loo. So that I feel much, much better. I need to be really careful because I fell when I was working in an adolescent unit in Taunton. I fell. I was in my early 40s, thinking I was younger, and I was chasing an adolescent who was off to go and walk in front of a car, and I just lost my footing and sprawled out onto the driveway. Again, winding myself, but I actually injured my shoulder and spent months with a frozen shoulder, which is a really, really painful thing to have. So I'm absolutely not going to stop keeping it moving. I'm on quite a lot of analgesia at the moment anyway, so I don't think I'm going to be guarding it as I was then. So yeah, not going to let that happen. I feel much better this afternoon. And I haven't told Joe yet. I haven't told Joe. I think what happens is that I know that when I tell Mark that it worries him, and I know that when I tell Joe, she'll be worried, but I interpret that worry as anger, and I need to change that somehow because I know that they're not angry with me, but that's what I do. When people go, "Oh, Kath," it's because they're worried, not because they're angry with me. And I'm sure Jo won't be angry with me. I'm sure she'll be really worried. And I need to tell her that we plan to remove the post from his doorway. That one's cemented in. But all the others there are 4 points for each pair of shutters. So if we move that one trip hazard, there are still 3 points left where the shutters can lock into. I can't believe I've not got used to them even since April. So I think it's time for them to go. And this will be the outcome of my accident: is the shutter pin things will be removed. All the others can be unscrewed, but that particular one that I went over on this morning is cemented in. That can be hammered down or ground off, and I will see what I can do about that tomorrow, because it'll be me that's doing it. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll be good and wait for Mark. That's not fair, is it? I'm sure he's capable of doing that at some point. I'll just be careful until then. He's been really careful with me carrying scissors around the house earlier on. I do. When I carry stuff like that, I'm careful. I carry it correctly, but I don't know how they were in my hand at that point. I carried on and brought the wood in, by the way. Because I had planned to. I just thought, well, that would be mad, wouldn't it? Hurt myself so badly and then not bring the wood in. So I went and bought the wood in because I just wanted it in. So we've got a trolley load in, which will last us 2 or 3 days, and it gives it a chance to dry out because some of it's a bit damp in places out there. So it's Monday, apparently. It's quarter past 5. Nearly, I don't know what time sunset is now, but it's becoming earlier and earlier. I'll be going down to put the chickens away shortly, and that's where I'm normally careful. That's where I always worry that I'm going to topple over. But toppling over is easy. Throwing yourself across the floor is not. I won't do that again. So, yeah, that's what's happened today. But he's a lot better than he was yesterday, and I'm pleased that we went to A&E. I wasn't. It was reassuring to have a blood test and find that there's no obvious signs of infection or and that it's just inflamed, and And what struck me was that I've been looking at his scar and thinking how well it looks, and I've seen some on YouTube that are all puckered and lumpy, and it looked all puckered and lumpy yesterday, and I'm thinking that's not good. That's not how it's been looking. So, but it's back to it looks better today. It's still a bit red, but he's got shorts on today as well to try and keep it cool. It's odd seeing him in shorts. It's quite nice actually. He looks quite good in shorts. It's just odd at this time of the year, but he kept his leg out of the from under the duvet last night. So he's trying to keep it cool. He's got that cold therapy thing on. Yeah, so that's that. So hopefully all will be well again, and there'll be more exciting things to talk about than me throwing myself across the floor.